In today's video, I'll be showing us how you can avoid errors while you are taking your readings on Burette. I mean, when you are creating tables of values which will generate your TITRE value. This is what I'll be discussing in this video today. The errors students commit while forming tables, while forming their tables of value, and the penalty for those errors, and how you can also correct those errors in your subsequent examination. So if you are new in this channel, kindly strike that subscribe button, give us a notification, turn on your notification, and give us a like. Thank you. Basic instructions and how to draw your tables of value. Now, like I said earlier, that this class is to tell us the basic instruction, the basic errors that students commit while forming their tables of values during titration. So I'll be using case to identify the errors that students commit. So let's go. Case 1. Any candidate who answers any part of the question in pencil loses 2 marks just once. Now, what this case 1 is trying to say is that when you are drawing your tables of value, your TITRE value, you should not write in pencil, because writing in pencil will attract penalty of -2 marks, which means always write with what? With pen, not with pencil. Writing with pencil will attract -2 marks. Another case 2. In this case 2, I have 2 subheading or 2 penalty attached to attached to errors committed during titration. Now, no unit, which means that when you are drawing your table, you do not put unit, it will attract -1 mark. Or wrong unit. The use of wrong unit, maybe you have to use gram per mole for molar mass, or you have to use gram per dmq for mass concentration, and you now use ordinary gram or you use ordinary dmq. In that case, it will attract -1 mark. It will attract -1 mark as the penalty. So I will advise that you master the unit for every parameters you are going to calculate during titration. Likewise, consistently reading Burette to 1 decimal place. Your Burette reading must be in 2 decimal place. So make sure that when you are writing your tables of value, your Burette reading must be in 2 decimal place. In the next slide, I'm going to show us that error. Now, this is the error I'm talking about. In the diagram, you are going to see final Burette reading, initial Burette reading, and the volume of acid use. So, initial Burette reading is measured in 2 decimal places, while the final and the volume of acid use were in 1 decimal place. So, in that case, it is inconsistent. Your Burette reading must be in 2 decimal places. Please take note of that. Another error that students commit during titration is what we call arithmetic error. Arithmetic error, which will attract penalty of -2 marks. Arithmetic error. What is the meaning of this arithmetic error? Now, you must subtract your initial Burette reading from the final in order to get the volume of acid use. The way the table is on the screen, that's how you are expected to draw your table. but the table I'm showing here has one error, and the error is that it is in one the burette reading is in 1 decimal place, which supposed to be in 2 decimal place. So when you are drawing your table, make sure it is in 2 decimal place, and also ensure that you subtract initial burette reading from the final burette reading in order to get the volume of acid used. The next error that students commit, or mistakes that students commit during titration, is alkali in burette. When we say alkali in burette, burette, you were supposed to fill acid inside burette and you pipette the base. So when you put base inside burette and you pipette acid, automatically you are going to commit a big error, because it is going to show in your value, in your tables of value, and it will also going to show in your TITRE value. So in this case, you are to ensure that you put acid inside your burette and you pipette your base with pipette. Failure to do that will attract -4 marks. Another error is putting down TITRE values without showing how they are arrived at. If you follow the class, I have said earlier that you need to draw your tables of value, and by the time you draw the tables of value, in that tables of value you are going to have final burette reading, initial burette reading, and volume of acid use. And the proper way of getting the volume of acid use is to minus, or is to take away the initial from the final. So in this case now, if you do not show calculations, you just assume if a value for your TITRE value, that means that it's going to attract -4 marks. So I want to tell you that make sure you draw your table and make it very neat, so that your mark will not be deducted. Another error, which I call case 7, is deliberate alteration of TITRE values to agree with teachers' TITRE value. Now what that means is that maybe your TITRE value, you have written 22.40, you now shaded it. That 22.40, you shaded it, you paint it in such a way that somebody can easily know that you painted it. In that case, depending on the number of columns you painted, each column attracts penalty of -2. So be very sure of the value you want to put down before you write them down. If you have written a value, please don't cancel. If you cancel, it will attract -4 marks. Case 8, cancellation of table of TITRE values and making another topic to be within the range of obtaining the maximum marks. Now what that case 8 is trying to explain is, you are done with your tables of value like I showed earlier. You are done with your tables of value, and deliberately you just cancel everything and you now rewrite another one. If you do that, it will attract penalty of -4 marks. So what is the sense in this one now? When you draw your table, make sure you do not cancel. If you cancel, it will attract penalty of -4 marks. Now this case 9 is very, very crucial and important, where initial and final readings are interchanged. The dot 2 correct volume of acid used must be. The dot 2, correct volume of acid must be. This case now is saying that you should not interchange initial for final. Please take your time to draw your table neatly, because that table attracts 10 marks. If you do your table very well, you are going to get 10 marks in that table. So I want to advise you that make sure that your table is very neat, and you follow every process. Don't jump any process. Lastly, averaging, which is our TITRE value. How do we arrive at TITRE value? Like this table I showed, we have the final Burel reading, initial Burel reading, and the final and the volume of acid used. Then there is something called concordance value. What are concordance values? Concordance values are TITREs in which their differences is plus or minus 0.2 centimeter cube, and this is what you are going to use for your averaging. When you calculate the volume of acid used, you've calculated your first TITRE, you've calculated your second TITRE, you've calculated your third TITRE. If you are picking 2 TITREs, the 2 TITREs you are going to pick, please, I want to beg you, ensure that the differences between those 2 TITREs is not more than at most of 0.15. Don't let it even up to 0.20. It can be 0.15 to be on the safer side. So if your averaging is wider than that scope, it can attract penalty, and that is what that case 10 is trying to figure out. If candidate TITRE's average differ by more than 0.20 centimeter cube, award no mark, irrespective of average correctly calculated. So this is actually talking about the TITREs that your teacher submit and your own TITRE. The differences must not exceed 0.20 centimeter cube. If the differences is more than that, it will not fetch you any mark. That averaging will not fetch you any mark. Now, why am I telling you all this? I want you to write this exam, and I want you to sit for this exam, and I want you to pass excellently. These are the mistakes that students made while drawing their table, and these are the likely solutions to this problem. Make sure you draw your table neatly. Ensure you do not cancel anything. Also ensure you do not write in pencil. You do not cancel anything, and you do not write in pencil. So if you have not subscribed, kindly do, and make sure you share this video with your friends. Till I come your way next time. Thanks for watching.